Hi everyone, and welcome back to our Urban Remedy Facebook Live event. We've decided to double back and go live again straight away just to the overwhelming questions that we've had. We thought it would be a great opportunity for Dr. Shawn to answer the questions and also for Tegan to answer the questions. So please take the opportunity to post any more that you may have. But we'll just do a quick recap on what Senescence really is.
Sure, yeah, we're a university spin-off from a discovery made in about 2008, and we developed a new line of health supplements designed for the aging brain. So, quick two-liner for you.
An amazing product. I'm just going to read from the group.
Sure.
Someone's asked if it's safe to take during pregnancy.
No.
Yeah, pregnancy. So we don't know about the safety during pregnancy, and we would never test it. Just because when you're pregnant, there's so much we don't still understand about being pregnant. So no, I would never recommend taking something new while you're pregnant, and talk to your doctor, and they'll tell you the same thing, I imagine. So no, definitely not if you're pregnant. I would wait until the baby's been delivered and whatnot, to be safe for sure. Yeah.
And then once you start taking it, do you need to keep taking it? What happens if you stop? Does the brain, the healthy brain that you've built through taking the product, just stop, or does it reverse?
Right. So the ingredients we used have been clinically proven to provide a temporary benefit. So you will notice temporary changes in sleep, mental energy, learning and memory, things, better cognition overall. But the idea and what a discovery brings to this is how those ingredients work together. So our hope and what we're conducting clinical trials on our ingredient for is that it's actually permanent. So the change is actually longer lasting. So if you stop taking the pill, you'll stop noticing temporary benefits, but we're still researching now what those longer term benefits are. And from our research, we want people to try to start taking it for at least 3 months, because that's when we think the effect will start to happen. Yeah.
Great. And then, sorry, I'm going to...
No problem.
Yeah, the clinical trials, I think we've covered those in the other...
Yeah, I just think it's really exciting. We're one of the first supplements to be looking to do this level of clinical trials. And going back to the quality thing, a lot of supplements don't go into clinical trials because of consistency. Because what batch to batch, it'll be different, especially when you're talking about extracts. So when we developed it, a big thing was standardizing the ingredients, so we know each batch is identical. Because what's the point of doing a clinical trial and spending a boatload of money if the next batch is different? So yeah, no, I think the clinical stuff is really exciting. We're starting it with people, Revive, so that the next iteration of Revive is for the older demographic, 60 plus. So we're starting it with people who are kind of MCI, or mild cognitive impairment.
Okay, great, great. And I assume a lot of supplement companies don't do it because it's expensive to run clinical trials too.
Yes, so yeah, no, it's expensive,
Yes.
and it's really tough to convince investors of the scientific validity of a health supplement, to be really frank, because you need investors to get it.
And partners. So we're really lucky to have people who are willing to partner with us because of the science we have behind our product.
Yeah.
Great. And then the product is it all natural? Is there?
Yeah. Again, to highlight, natural doesn't always mean safe,
Yes,
but yes,
yes.
it is all natural. Why we chose it and why we chose the ingredients, which I'm sure people want to know what's in it. We discovered a new way to see how the brain ages. So it's a new mechanism within a neuron or a cell, and with that, we actually were able to pick ingredients that target what we needed to in the brain. But it's not about a single ingredient. I didn't discover any drug. It's about using multiple ingredients to hit multiple targets in the cell. And so we picked ingredients that were clinically proven to be safe. We know each ingredient gets through digestion, which is really important, but then also the blood-brain barrier, which is also very important. So we know the ingredients get in there all the way to the brain, and then that's where they work together.
Yes, and now there's lots of natural remedies, ginseng, people talk about omega-3.
Yeah.
So how are those different than Revive?
Right, well, ginseng is actually a very specific group of molecules from ginseng we're using in our product. The thing about the natural remedies is there are some great clinical trials. So there's phenomenal research on ginseng. It's just there's a gap between what they test in clinical trials It's all standardized, ultra pure ingredients that are consistent versus what you can buy regularly in the store, right? It's really expensive to make that. And that's what they have to use in clinical trials, though. So that's, I think, the problem sometimes is relating these great clinical trials to actually what you're buying on the shelf. And that's what took us so long to develop this, is to make sure it matches. So when we say clinically proven ingredients, it's the exact ingredient used in clinical trials at that standardization level.
Okay. I was going to say, maybe we should talk a bit. Do you want to talk about the ingredients? Just quickly go over what they are. I know there was a question.
Sure. So one of the first things is vitamin E. Vitamin E is really important. Vitamin E is not a single molecule. There's actually 8 different types of vitamin E, which people maybe not be aware of. But it's an antioxidant. It's a lipophilic antioxidant. So it's an antioxidant for your fats. And it's actually recyclable. So it can detoxify a free radical, but then it stays in your system and can be regenerated. It's great. And it's the first important ingredient in ours because it also helps to keep the other ingredients protected from damage. And also our vitamin E is the natural source, which is a big component because we absorb it differently than synthetic vitamin E. And then that works together with, like I said, those few compounds from ginseng. We also use a group of compounds from another more traditional herb called Centella asiatica. It's more common in kind of northern India, but those group of compounds have been shown to get through digestion, blood-brain barrier, and hit the targets we need them to. And then we have alpha-lipoic acid, which is another very powerful antioxidant, and selenium. And selenium is used, it's a base for a very important enzyme in our brain, so it's just to get everybody to the same level. Some populations, depending on where you're from, can vary in selenium in their diet, so it's just to make sure everybody's kind of on the level you need to be at. And those all work together, again, going back to that original discovery, and that's what we're hoping will have a more permanent effect on the brain.
Great.
So,
just a reminder, we're here with Dr. Shawn Watson and Tegan, answering some questions from our earlier Facebook Live event that people have posted. We've got a really interesting one. Someone's asking, their grandmother has dementia. No Western medicine has worked, so would this be something that you should start taking now?
Right. This is what our clinical trials are looking at. Because this is what hits home to us as well, because there's nothing out there, and people get really desperate because there is nothing to take. So no, we don't have any clinical evidence that it works for dementia. I mean, that's a huge claim, and it'll take a lot more clinical trials and work to get there. But definitely, we have a lot of people who have MCI or dementia that are on our product because it is the thought that, you know, there's nothing else. Why not try it and see how I feel? And it seems definitely like the older the person gets, we're getting far better testimonials.
Okay.
The younger demographics definitely talk to us about energy, sleep. But the older ones talk more about like learning and memory and ability to focus and stuff. So it is interesting that it seems to have a stronger effect at the older demographic.
The older one.
Yeah.
And I know we were discussing that question, and was it telomeres?
Telomeres.
Telomeres, yes.
Telomeres, yes.
Yes.
So telomeres go back to the Hayflick hypothesis, which we call it in the field. It's the idea that as our cells divide, the little protective caps and the ends start to shrink of our DNA, and then they shrink to a point that it starts to eat away our DNA and damage your cell, and that's what causes aging. It doesn't really apply, though, to the brain, because our brain cells, for the most part, don't divide. People don't really realize it, but once you're kind of an adult, the number of brain cells you have, or those ones you have, basically are the ones you die with. There's a few exceptions to the rule, but they tend not to divide at all. So then the telomeres, that is not really a factor in brain aging. And that's why pathologies like Alzheimer's are so terrible, because that's when a brain cell dies. In Alzheimer's, your brain cells are actually dying, and there's no new way to create new brain cells.
Okay.
Generally, again, there's a few exceptions to that,
Yeah.
but generally speaking, they don't regenerate.
Okay.
So yeah, the Hayflick hypothesis doesn't really, when you talk neurologically, it's about the free radical theory of aging, more than the Hayflick,
Okay.
or telomeres.
And then just one last thing, if people want to buy this product, best place online? Well, I mean, we'll certainly be posting links back to where they can get it, but at the moment just online.
Yeah, just on our websites. UR Community gets a discount,
Yes, correct.
for sure, or yeah, online on our website, senescence.life.
Okay, wonderful. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Shawn and Tegan, and for answering the questions, and we look forward to running another session soon. Thank you.
Thanks.